here we go. Hello, everybody. I am officially live. If you can hear me, please type in llama in the chat so we can see that you guys can hear us and we're good to get started. Don't want anyone missing out on this awesome demo we have today with Azmarina. All right. Type llama in the chat for me so I can see that we are live and ready to go. Yay, I got some llamas. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our awesome artist here we have today, Azmarina. She's going to do a beautiful floral watercolor sketch for us and walk you through her process of doing that. My name is Anna. I will be your host this afternoon or evening, morning, whatever it is for you guys. And if you guys have questions, the easiest way for me to see them is to type question in all caps. So I can clearly see that there's a question and I can pass that on to Azmarina as she is painting. Typically with the questions, I'll give her the ones that pertain to what she's doing, and I will save some of them for the end during our Q&A. So if I miss your question, just know we'll come back around at the end of the hour and I will make sure to try and answer all your questions. We do these free online demos every Sunday, Tuesday, and Friday. So subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on your notifications so you can stay up to date and get alerted when we are going live. Our next one is actually tomorrow, Sunday, March 28th at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Jade Franson, who will be demonstrating how to paint beautiful sunset scenes with gouache. So that is exciting. Take a minute, share this link with your friends so we can have more people jump on and be with us in this live session. And we are going to get started. Azmarina, I'm going to let you take it away.
Hello, Anna. Thank you for the opportunity, and I'm so excited and I was looking forward to this. And yes, let's start it.
All right. So I think Azmarina is going to show us some of her awesome sketches. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to your sketch view so everyone can see that, and you can just show us some of your awesome sketches.
Okay, so this is the sketch that we are going to do today. I have already provided you with the sketch, almost a similar sketch, so that you can already get prepared. But now I'm going to give you a little bit of a demo of the kind of work I do, because I'm fond of sketchbooks. Like I have many different sizes and different types of sketchbooks, and I like painting on sketchbooks because they give me they're very easy to collect all your paintings in one place, and then just like now I'm doing, you can flip over through your sketchbook like a photo album that we used to have back in the old days, and we don't usually have that anymore. But now with your painting, you can just make a nice photo album of your paintings, and you can leave it on your coffee table or on your table, and your friends and family can have the same pleasure of going through the paintings. So this is a small one. This is really a very small one. It's a F6 size sketchbook. And then I have another one that's a little bit bigger, and I usually do florals with that. As you can see, this is how it looks, and I hope it inspires you in some ways. And
beautiful.
Yeah, so this is what we will be going to do today on Etcher Sketchbook. Yeah, I can just go on. It's pages full of colors, so that's how it is. Yep. And yeah, what we are going to do today is we are going to use the Etcher Sketchbook. If okay, I'll just, so this is the biggest one I have worked on so far. It's an A4 size sketchbook, and it has 300 GSM paper, cold pressed, which is amazing for watercolors. You can see how bright and beautiful the colors look on these pages. So I'm really enjoying working on it. And today I will be using this sketchbook and floral artworks, how we can fill in such a wonderful big sketchbook with floral artwork. Sorry, I just bumped my camera. And yeah, so these are some samples, and hopefully this is how our page will look like after we are done after we do today's live demo, which is a sunflower. The last one I did was a magnolia because it's season of magnolia and it's everywhere. So yep, today we are going to do sunflowers, which is very vibrant, very florally, and reminds us of bright sunny days. So I look forward to doing it with you.
Yeah, we're so excited to see your process, and we are getting the link for the reference photo right now. So I'll post that as soon as I have it.
Great. So when do you want me to start? Shall I?
Yeah, go ahead. You can start walking us through the process.
Okay, so to give you a little bit of an overview of the techniques I will be using today, first of all, I will start with wet in wet process. That's and then I will use layering and underpainting, dry brush technique, and also a little bit of splattering in the end, hopefully. And I will use brushes, of course, and the size of the brushes I will show you now. That I think in the description we have already mentioned that I'm going to use the etcher brushes, and it comes in all sizes. For today, I will be using brush number 8 and brush number 6. And also, I think I will need a little bit of brush number 12. So this, and I'll be using etcher watercolors, and it's a 24 pan set. The thing is that to do a vibrant floral piece, you don't really need a lot of colors. That's a kind of misconception I also had when I started painting at the beginning, because I thought I should buy watercolor palettes with more and more colors. But the truth is that you only need the primary colors for floral sketches, and then you can create your own colors from the primary colors, and those are more exciting and more interesting. But yes, today, since I have the luxury of having a 24 color palette, I will be using this one. So I will start with the wet in wet part, and that's my sky. That's going to be, and I will just first with the empty part of my paper. Then I'll add blue.
So you're putting water down first and then filling with color?
Yes, yes. And this way I leave the sky to dry, and then I can go back to my flowers.
And the colors you're using, do you pick as you're painting, or what colors do you have on there now?
I usually go with the flow. Like I start, for example, when I'm painting sky, I go with the blue, that is the basic sky blue. And then I try to put in some dark shades like yeah, black or burnt sienna even sometimes, to make create some more drama in the sky. But most of the time it's really whatever I feel like adding at that moment. Because with watercolor, the most interesting thing I find is you can never go wrong with colors. Like doesn't matter what color you use, especially for sky, you can never go wrong. Sky comes in all the colors and shapes. So yeah.
So you have a little more freedom to kind of go with the flow.
Yep. That's why I like working with watercolor more, because I feel, yeah, I'm free as a bird to fly any direction I want with colors. So yep, that's my motivation for watercolor.
I see you're working in the background mostly.
Yeah.
Is that something you do often?
That depends, because this one has a lot of empty space in the composition. That's why I'm doing the background first. But there are some paintings where I don't have much empty space to fill in. It's mostly my flowers or the subject that I'm painting. Then I don't do the background first. Then I start with the flower. But this one, I felt like it would be more useful to start with the background. Then I let the background dry while I start painting the flowers. You can also use a hair dryer, or if you have one, to make your paint dry first, fast, because then you can do the layering quickly. Otherwise, you have to wait for your paint to dry naturally. And if you live in a not so hot country or area, then you really have to wait for a long time for your paints to dry.
You have to wait for a sunny day.
Yep, leave it for sometimes. In fact, I leave my paintings by the window when it's sunny to let it dry by the sun.
Okay. Do you typically paint in stages, or do you like to do it all at once?
I do both, but most of the time I do all at once, because once I start a painting, unless I finish it, I kind of feel restless. Like, yeah, it's a itch that I feel unless and until I finish it. So, yeah, for my mental sanity, it's better if I finish it. Okay, now let's start with our sunflower. And for the flowers, I will be, so far I was using brush number 12, and now I'll be using number 8. Okay.
And I'm going to go ahead and post the link for the brush set in the chat.
Yeah.
If you guys don't have them there.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
And for the flowers, I'm doing dry painting, dry in, wet on dry. That is tongue twister. Because I did not wet the area of the flower. I'm just straight away applying my paint.
What's the difference you find between the two techniques?
The difference for me is control. Like because now you see I'm working in less area, and I have to be more precise with my petals. So if I am doing a dry on wet, a wet on dry technique, then I can control my brush anyhow I want, and I can turn the petals into the shape that I really want. Because with this one, if you notice, the water started shaping with their own free will. Like, I did not really have much of a say in how they're going to blend with each other. I just had an idea which colors I want in this part to blend, but how they're going to blend on wet paper, it's most of the time it's the free will of the color rather than my brush. But that's why the difference is when you were working on more precise area and you want more detailed. If I wanted it more loose, wanted the sunflowers to be more loose in style, then I would again start with wet on wet technique. But now I want it to be a bit more pronounced, the petals. That's why I'm using dry on wet.
Awesome. So you can kind of decide if you want it to look more controlled in an area.
Yep. Sometimes you can have one flower in the composition, the main flower popping up. So you use dry on wet technique for that flower, and for the rest floral part, you can just go on again a very loose style wet on wet to give it a bouquet effect, like when you take pictures with DSLR and you have bouquets in the background.
Oh, like that foggy look.
Yep.
Is that a good way to describe it? Foggy, blurry-ish?
Yeah, exactly.
That's neat. So you can apply that to your paintings as well. Very cool.
Yeah.
And are you switching back and forth from different orange and yellow tones?
Yes, I have here three. I'm actually applying orange and yellow. This one is lemon yellow, so I'm not doing this one right now because sunflowers mostly have warm orange or warm yellow and the normal yellow, like bright yellow. So I'm using this one and this one right now.
And I did post the link for the half pan set in the chat also. And don't forget, if you guys share your work, #Etcher mini workshop, you have a chance to win a $50 gift card to our shop, and you can pick up some of these awesome items that Azmarina is using today.
I'd really recommend the watercolor palette. It's very pigmented, and to be honest, the thing that I like most about it is the description of the colors that came with the palette. It clearly shows which color is opaque, which one is transparent, how much opacity one color has. And yeah, that's something that's very interesting for self-taught painters like myself who had to learn these things by self-research, because I started painting as a hobby, as a hunch, and I did not really learn it by learning color techniques and color theory. So for me, and for I can imagine a lot of new beginners and hobby painters, this is a very useful information to receive with their painting palettes, that which color is more transparent and which one is more opaque. Yeah, that's really useful.
So are you switching off between those two oranges? Is there a reason to do that?
Yes. If you notice that the oranges that are lighter, that are on the inner circle, like there is no, I mean, well, I'm imagining that the light is coming from the front side, like from where I'm looking at the flowers. That's why the outer side of the circle has lighter orange, and the ones in between, they have more darker. Because now I will put some, let me see, some darker shades in between the lighter petals. This is a technique of layering. This is how you create layers in your painting to make, because if you paint all the petals the same color, it will look flat, really one-dimensional. So if you want to add dimension to your flowers or your paintings, you have to use different shades of the same color or different shades of the different color that is that is more darker than the first color you are using. And usually it's the petals that are behind the second layer of petals that are behind the first layer of petals. So it's kind of shadowy. They're casting shadow on the inner side of the petals.
That makes sense. Give it a little bit more form.
Yep.
It's looking so good already. I love seeing the transformation.
This is what makes me enjoy watercolor, because it transforms a white space in such a interesting way so soon. Like the moment you start putting color, doesn't matter where you're putting it, which color you are using, it instantly transforms the whole page into something so beautiful. It cheers you up. Okay. So, okay, I will now start the inner circle. And again, I will start, I'm mixing yellow and burnt sienna for this one.
It looks like you're kind of patting the color on.
Yep. I'm patting it because I'm trying to get the shape of the seeds that are inside sunflower. I'm not being very detailed about it, but at the same time, I want to have the idea that these are seeds and these are not just, like petals, not one smooth area. But okay, now I'll add some more black and burnt sienna here. Okay.
And then did you add water to your brush to create that lighter shade?
I did. This is again the wet technique, because I put the first layer with burnt sienna, and then I'm placing more black with water. See, this effect, it's happening because I have added water to my brush more than I did when I was doing the petals.
It really makes it look realistic. It's looking so good.
Yeah.
And are you just dragging the color you added to the center into the petals a little bit?
Yes, a little bit, because again, it's a loose style painting, semi-loose style, and then it should look like that it's holding all the petals together in the middle. So yeah. I'll leave it to this, and then we will come back to it a bit later after doing the other.
Do you have to work pretty quickly when you use that wet on wet technique?
Yes, because otherwise it will get dried, and then there is no point doing the wet on wet, because you have to do it as long as it's wet. Let's start with the other one. Okay, I'm just covering the other sunflowers. These are actually autumn sunflowers, not really summer sunflowers. That's why they are more orangey than yellow. And they have smaller, the petal size is smaller than the normal, usual, huge yellow petal sunflowers. And again, for this center, I'm using the patting technique.
We have a question from one of our viewers. Do you always do each flower separately?
I usually do separate flowers separately, because I like to have a little bit my flowers a little bit detailed. But if you are going for a fully loose sunflower painting, then you can just do all the flowers first. It's easier that way. Then the colors don't get mixed with the other colors. The petals don't get mixed with others. But yeah, personally, I try to do each flower separately. See, this one is more loose in style than the first one, because you can just have, you don't really see each petals separately, but you can have roughly an idea that there is a sunflower here.
So the main focus is on that one, that first one.
That's also, I guess, the basic rule of composition, that you have to have this 2/3 rule, that your painting should have one center point where your eye, the visitor's eye gets attracted to.
So kind of making the flowers in the background a little looser helps that focus, do you think?
Yes, for me, that that's the trick.
I mean, I can't stop looking at that first one. It's so beautiful.
Thank you. And I'll get back to that after finishing this one with the color pencils for a little bit more details. Because with details, you can, I mean, this is my problem. I don't know, others have this problem as well. Like when I start detailing flowers, I don't know when to stop or where to stop. Sometimes I think I overdo detailing because yeah, it's detailing is really fun. Then you see the whole thing comes alive so much more that you don't know sometimes where to stop.
Are you choosing slightly darker colors for the ones in the background as well?
Yes. Especially this one and this one, I chose it to be more red, a mix of crimson and orange, because as I said, these are autumn sunflowers, and autumn sunflowers, when they are more mature, they become more crimson in colors than orange.
So you can play with that, adding that color
Yes,
a little bit more.
yes. And personally, what I do is when I start doing a flower, I know maybe the original flower is, for example, say pink. But then when I start doing it, I feel like a blue one would be really nice. And then I start adding blue to that flower. And it totally turns out to be a different genre of flower. But as long as it's vibrant, it's looking nice on my white sketchbook, I'm okay with that. Like I take my liberty with flowers. And you never know, maybe in one part of this world, that color of flower, that type of flower really exists. So yeah, who knows? Because no one has seen all the flowers of the world. So take your liberty.
Have fun with it, right?
Yeah, that's the motto. I mean, that's why I paint. Let's have fun. Have fun with your colors. Like, yeah, be a child. I like how children paint because they have so much fun splattering colors here and there, and that's amazing. And then I think they create the most wonderful loose style paintings
Mhm.
and very postmodern in a way. Okay.
When you're working so close to the other flower, does it ever bleed or anything as you're working?
Yes, it's in fact now bleeding, but a little less because I have done this flower a while ago and it's already dried, because thanks to this paper, it's a cold pressed 300 GSM watercolor paper, so it soaks the color almost immediately, so you don't really have to worry about too much bleeding. And another thing is, if this paper can hold a lot of washes, so it doesn't get how do you what's that word? Uh, okay, I'm looking for the word where the paper is like, goes this when you put way too much water.
I can't think of it either, but I think
there is a word for this. There is a technical word for this.
Warping? Is it warping? I don't
yeah,
know.
warping. Yeah, I think so. Yes, thank you.
I lost the
yeah.
tube for a second there.
Yeah. Yeah, for me it's a little difficult to remember, not being a native speaker, but yeah, I had the idea what it is, but almost didn't have the word. Okay, so we're almost done with the idea of the flowers, how they should look, and now we are going to do the leaves. So I'll again take a different color, and this time I'm using leaf green. On the etcher set, they have a leaf green, which is very beautiful. And I didn't see this color in other palettes because this one is in between sea green and lemon green, which gives a really nice and luscious greeny texture. And it's kind of opaque, which I like about it, because then it's more strong. In watercolor, when you use a bit more opaque colors, it really pops out from the whole painting.
Yeah, you can tell already that it's really creating that nice contrast. It looks great.
Yeah.
Are you mixing another green in there too?
I am. Now I have added sea green for the other petal, other leaf, because I will be using 3 different shades of green. This leaf green, turquoise, and sea green. And also I will use pine green, pine green, for the because the leaves that are under the flowers, they will be darker than the leaves that are outside the flowers. So that's the idea.
And I see you're leaving a little bit of room around like the background edges.
Yes, I'm doing that to create the separation between the floral pieces and leaves, because in the end it looks really nice when you have a little bit of white outer side. Because if you paint everything, as I said, like, this is not a fully loose style loose style painting. If it's totally loose, then you'd most probably paint the whole thing. But when it's a little bit semi-detailed and semi-loose, then leaving out these white edges makes your painting, your composition pop out more nicely. So this one is the darker shade of green, and I'm adding the lighter one at the end.
So the darker shades are going more underneath of the flower?
Underneath, yeah, exactly. Because they are out of the shadow. With the parts that are under the flowers, those are affected by the shadow of the flower. So
makes sense. Gotcha. And I'm going to go ahead and post Azmarina's mini workshop. It's on April 12th, guys. I'm going to post that in the link in the chat, so you have the link to sign up for her class for some more awesome floral paintings. It's going to be great. It's on April 12th. Make sure you sign up.
Yeah, please do, because I feel like because I started as a self-taught beginner very recently. And during the pandemic, actually, I started putting more effort to my painting skill. And then I realized that it's actually about having fun and to let go of the primary inhibition of what to do with the color. Because a lot of people, especially with watercolor, they don't start with, or they don't work more with watercolor because they're kind of intimidated with the way watercolor works, because it's difficult to control. But for the same reason, it's really easy to work with, because you can let the color do its own work and you just sit back and almost relax watching how it creates the whole painting. So if you want to see how or learn how you can benefit more from being more liberal with your color use, then yeah, most welcome. And I hope the workshop will be able to give some more easy technical insights and yeah, beginners, beginner level insights into the watercolor world. So now I'm doing the.
Yeah, look how beautiful this is. It's an opportunity to create some more awesome florals with Azmarina.
And the best thing is, in the end, as I said, like, when the whole thing is done, I mean, in the process, you will start doubting yourself in the middle of the process. I do a lot of times, like, okay, where is the composition going? Is it like making any sense or not? But almost always, trust me, in the end, it looks really nice. with watercolor. That's something I never experienced with other mediums, because other mediums are not as forgiving as watercolors when you make mistakes with paint. But yeah, with watercolor, in the end, when you look back at your page of your sketchbook, it looks really nice. And you will feel wonderful about the time you spent with colors on the page.
And I love that you talk about the coffee book with your sketchbooks, how you can create like all these floral and paintings in general and have it to look at all the time. So cool.
Yes, and it's not only for you, for your friends, family, whoever comes to your coffee table to have coffee with you, and they will flip over the book. And yeah, it's a thing of wonder for most of the people. So because we don't do this kind of albums these days with photos. I mean, remember back then we used to have family photo albums. So now you can have your own watercolor album that people can enjoy, and yeah, you can give them a tour of your creative site. And it's really easy to preserve all your paintings in one place, because there are very organized creative people. I'm not one of them, so for me it's really easy to have all my paintings in one place, and having them in a sketchbook is really a good way to start.
This is looking so beautiful.
Okay, I think
I hope you guys are all enjoying this as well. And I just posted a link to our survey if you want to fill that out and just give us some feedback on how we're doing with our demos, and also for the artists to give us all some feedback so we can improve, or if we're doing excellent jobs, just let us know. We'd love to hear from you.
Okay.
So are you just adding little touches of color here and there?
Yeah, yes. And I think I was going way too excited with the leaves. So I did a lot of leaves, but yeah, now I'm going to add some stems and branches, which flowers should have. Usually when I paint, I have Scotch tapes surrounded my painting so that in the end I can just peel it off and it looks like a frame. For this one, I did not, but I would have normally had like the outer side of the paint in a shape done with the Scotch tape. So yeah, you can do that if you want. It looks more organized in a way. Okay.
I feel like this one looks really nice with the edges kind of all like that. It looks awesome.
Some paintings do look better with loose edges. I'm happy that you like this one with that. See, this is the thing. I thought I needed a branch here, but after I put it there, I didn't really like it. So I blended the color just to cover up my mistakes. That's the good thing about watercolor. You can just, cover your mistake with another mistake most of the time.
You can change your mind.
Yeah, you can change your mind.
Azmarina, just so you have a heads up, we're about 40 minutes in, so we have 20 minutes and we'll do a Q&A at 10-minute time mark. But yeah, awesome.
Great. I will need, I think, only 5 more minutes and then I'm almost done with this.
Awesome. So you guys can start thinking of your questions now. We'll have a little Q&A for Azmarina. And are you going back in with the blue again?
Yes, because I want to fill in these tiny little gaps that I have in between to give the illusion that you are still looking at this sky through the flowers. So yeah.
How do you decide where to add the blue and keep some of the white space?
What I'm doing is I'm keeping the white spaces in between the petals now, and these spaces, because I'm imagining that I'm looking at the flowers from a little bit down under the level of the flowers. Like I'm looking at the sky through the flowers. So if I'm looking at the sky, then outside of the petal, I will see spots of blue sky. And that's the whole idea. And in between the petals, I'm having a little bit of white space, because if you really notice how we see things, the light is reflected on the edges of the things we see. So this is to suggest that the light has been reflected from the edges of the petals. Yeah, that's
Awesome.
The
that was a really
science,
good
quote unquote.
explanation. So cool.
That's my common sense explanation. I hope that makes sense.
Absolutely.
That's how I see it. Okay.
Now I can envision myself kneeling down to like pick the perfect flower for a bouquet.
Okay. Yeah, it's really amazing to look at the sky when you are in a sunflower field and you like sit a little down under the sunflower plants and look at the sky against the yellow sunflowers against the blue sky. That's amazing. And if you see now, I'm putting a little bit more dark colors at the edges where the flowers are finished, to create a bit more contrast with the rest of the sky. And as I said, like with this paper or any 300 GSM cold pressed paper, you have the liberty to do more than a couple of washes without really damaging the paper, and it looks really nice how they blend in together even in the second wash. So you just don't want the rough edges. And now I'm watering the rough edges to give it a smooth blend.
So is that just with water on your brush?
Yeah, I'm just having water. Putting water with my brush. I'm not adding more color. It's just water. Okay.
Don't forget to share your work if you're painting along today, or if you're going to paint along later. You can take a picture of your setup and show us how you're painting along. We'd love to see it. Hashtag #EtChR Mini Workshop to share with us on Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah, it would be amazing to see how people have painted this. Yeah, a new rendition of the painting. Okay. So this part is a bit dark because I assume these have shadows from the flower and the leaves. Okay. As I said, I like the bleeding rough edges of the painting. So just okay.
I see some comments coming in for our Q&A portion. I'm just going to save them for a few more minutes, but I will definitely be asking those. There's some good questions coming in.
Okay, thank you. And I will just, yeah. I'll use a pen now to add a little bit more detail to this flower, because I'm trying to make this part of my painting more focused. So I'll just add. This part needs to be dried, and that's okay. I'll just try from this angle. Sorry about my weird way of pressing my hand because this part is still wet.
You're fine. Improvise to save the beauty.
Yeah. Usually I place a tissue paper on the wet part if I am not drying it with dryer, or you can just first dry with a blow dryer and then you can work again on the rest of the parts.
What type of pen are you using for this?
This is a normal gel pen, grocery store gel pen, or you can use Sakura jelly roll pens, amazing pens, or any ballpoint pen, actually, nothing fancy. I actually like to work with more daily, regularly available materials, especially when it comes to pencils and pens, because you have already a lot of them lying around in your house, so you can just use them. It doesn't always have to be fancy and expensive to create something interesting.
Is it blue too? Is it a blue shade?
Yeah, this is a blue one because I'm running out of the black one. I guess that's the reason. Nothing, yeah, in particular. But you can always use a black one as well. But blue goes really nice with the black background because this already has a little bit of color. So the blue is not really blue. And then you can just.
That's what I was thinking too. I was like, oh, the blue is going to look really nice with the background.
Yeah, because the whole thing has a bluish vibe. So.
So here you're dotting again.
I'm just dotting again because if you have noticed, yeah, sorry, I'm moving the whole thing. But yeah, with the dots, you can go free with the dots. You can just add more dots to it, and then it looks a little bit more realistic. Okay. Yep. Okay. A little bit of black color pencil. And this is a technique I use a lot of times. After my watercolor part is finished, I use color pencils to add the extra shades or extra lines that I want to be more prominent in my painting.
Yeah, look at that, the detail. Woo. And if you missed it, Azmarina said she can get really carried away with the detail work.
I do. So please stop me when the time is over. The main thing is done for my painting. I'm just like going
You're
overboard
totally fine. I would do the same thing. I always get little details.
This is like my fun little game with my paintings. Like a lot of times I go back to my old paintings and I start adding details to it just to see, okay, why not? How does it look with a little bit more detail?
And actually, I can ask you one of the questions from our viewers. How often do you paint? Do you paint a little each day or a couple days a week?
These days I almost paint every day because unfortunately or fortunately we are working from home most of the time. So yeah, if for example when I'm attending a meeting, if I don't have my video turned on, I'll be doing a mini painting at the same time while I'm attending a meeting or a class or a seminar. So yeah, these days I'm painting almost every day, and I would suggest for any beginner, it's better if you paint something. Like it doesn't have to be a grand thing. It's just anything, just something. Just play with the colors, but do it every day. Keep on doing it every day, and then after 1 year, you will see how much you have learned by just painting whatever thing you wanted to paint and all the techniques. Because if you put a pause on your painting, then yeah, you kind of run out of the inspiration and motivation to paint again. That's my personal experience. I like painting. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sure. Do you ever get stuck on ideas of what to paint since you're painting so often?
I do sometimes, but thankfully most of my paintings involve flowers, and you never, I mean, you can never can have enough flowers. Like there is something or the other blooming every day somewhere, or there are plenty of inspirations. And thankfully, I live very near to the botanical garden. So when I'm running out of inspiration, I take a stroll to the garden or outside, and I take a walk, and yeah, I feel more inspired. But yes, it's very normal to run out of inspiration when you do the same thing for a long time. But at the same time, you get better at it as well by doing the same thing for a long time.
I can definitely tell from just watching you how awesome this is.
Okay, I think I'll stop now.
And there's another question just about
Okay.
how do you paint so much? How are you so prolific in your painting?
Okay, yeah, that's a question I often get from my friends and family as well, that how come I don't get tired? For me, I think I should yeah, share a little bit of history why I started painting in the first place. I was suffering from depression for quite a long time. And then I suddenly, I don't know why, and one fine morning I picked up watercolor, and I just started it as a, yeah, as an experiment to do something with my time. And then I realized that the more I work with colors, the more I experiment with vibrant colors, it makes me calm, and it gives me, it kind of work as a, it worked as a therapy for me. And ever since, it has helped me to get out of my dark phase, emotional dark phase, and it has helped me to be more calm and more peaceful with myself. And yeah, that's why I guess I have that inner motivation, and that's why I can spend more time with colors than I would spend time doing other things. So yes, colors make me happy, colors make me calm, and it works as a therapy. That's why I never get tired. So yep,
Absolutely.
I think we're quite done. I mean, I can go on half an hour more, but yeah, I think I should stop. It's also important to learn when to stop and not overdo things. So yes, this is my sunflower for today.
It's beautiful. I love it so much. I hope you
Yeah.
guys all enjoyed this workshop as well. And I also just posted the link for the mini workshop, so you guys can hop
Yay.
in and grab your spot now so you can get some more of these awesome florals with Azmarina. And I've just been so inspired being here with you today. So thank you so much, Azmarina.
Thank you. Thank you. It was
Anything you want
awesome.
to wrap up with everybody?
Keep playing with colors. Don't hesitate. Don't hesitate that you will spoil a wonderful, nice blank space, because blank spaces are there to be filled in with colors. So just do it and enjoy the process. And no matter how it looks in the beginning or during the process, in the end, trust me, it will look wonderful. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much again. I'm going to put it back on your artwork so everyone can see this beauty.
Okay.
And don't forget to share your work with us, hashtag at your mini workshop. And if you have a minute, fill out our survey. We would love to hear with you. Thank you, Azmarina, for being
Thank you
here.
so much. Thank
Thank you
you.
to all our wonderful viewers as well. What a great way to start your day or end your day. It's awesome.